Hi, welcome to I Don't Have the Answers, but let's talk about it anyway. I'm your host, Tim Four, and today's episode is all about change. Why do we do it? What does it come from? What spurs our changes? What drives our desire to want to change? There are so many reasons out there. There are so many things out there that push us to adapt or to amend the way that we behave or the way that we live or even the way we dress and eat. But why do we do it? Is all change good? Is it successful? There's sometimes when I'm thinking that I should change something about myself or I should do something different, but I never follow through with it unless it's a true desire and for the right reason. Now, I believe that the book definition may describe change a little differently than what I'm talking about today, but I'm talking about things such as weight loss or hair color, clothing, dietary changes. We see media pushing us from all different directions. Commercials about changing your wardrobe. You have ads that pop up in social media talking about this diet or that diet. You have constantly an overabundance of different kinds of platforms telling you that what you're doing is not right. But why? Why do we listen to it? Why do we give them credit? Why do we allow them to talk down about what we are doing in our lifestyle? Take, for example, all these ads that you see about subscribing to clothing change lines and to subscribing to allowing someone else to pick your clothing out and send it to you. Great concept. I'm not talking bad about it. But they're constantly, the way that they go about marketing it is by saying, are you ready for a new you? Are you ready for a change? Anything that is started out or derived from someone else telling you to do it, and if it's not your heart and soul and mind telling you to do it, there's a nefarious reason behind it. I'm not saying necessarily they're out to get you, but they have one goal, and that goal is to make money. I recently decided to do a lifestyle change and started a specific type of diet that has changed my world. For the last 7 years, my doctor has told me that it's necessary for me to get things under control and to start eating right and lose some weight. I didn't listen to it, even though a medical professional told me over and over that it was going to be the only way I was going to be able to further my life. That there was going to come a time where I would be severely at risk for heart attack and heart disease, and that I would have problems with my extremities if I didn't change those things. As you can see, I'm not exactly the specimen of physical fitness, but I have begun a regime to lose that weight and to get myself under control. It had nothing to do with what the doctor said. It had nothing to do, honestly, with anything but a group of friends of mine. They were all talking about how their weight loss plans were working, and they weren't actually pressing me to do it. They were explaining the benefits in their own life and putting it in terms that I could actually relate to. I then started doing the research and decided on my own that it was time to make that change. I put a lot of thought into it, discussed it with my wife, talked about it with other family members, and we followed through. The only reason that change has stuck to this point, now we're at week 6 of this, is because I had plans, I thought about it, and there was a viable reason that was important to me. It had nothing to do with what my doctor said or anything else or any pressure from anyone else. What I'm trying to get at is, regardless of the reasons we try to change or update our lives, we have to have a reason behind it that's close to us. It's pertinent. About 8 years ago, I decided I was done smoking. Maybe it was 9 now. I had smoked for almost 20 years, and I decided it was time. I had tried to quit smoking I don't know how many times, and any of the smokers out there know that it's not exactly the easiest thing to give up. There is a physical and chemical dependency that comes from smoking. When you have that habit, it is not just putting something down, it is difficult. And anyone who has tried knows that's not the easiest thing to get rid of. And the funniest thing is, the reason why I quit smoking had nothing to do with health benefits, had nothing to do with commercials I saw on TV. Honestly, it was just because I got tired of spending so much money on it. I sat down and looked at the budget and how much I actually spent on buying those cigarettes, and it was ridiculous. But it mattered to me at that moment. It was all about what made sense to me. So when you're facing an option or an opportunity to make a change in your life, don't listen to what other people are saying. Don't listen to reasons that they give unless they're important to you. Don't let someone else's advice dictate what you need to do in your life. You can talk to medical professionals, you can talk to clergy, you can talk to physicians, doctors, psychologists, friends. None of that means anything if it doesn't have an impact on your life and the way that you feel. You will not be successful in any of those changes until you come to grips with it on your terms. Oftentimes people ask how I have got to the point where I am now, given the fact that I've gone through a couple of bad relationships and bad career choices. I made those changes for the wrong reasons. I jumped into careers that just happened to show up for the wrong reason. I am finally in a position where I enjoy what I do, and the change was on my terms. But oftentimes we take things for granted. We don't think about the implications of those decisions we make, those changes that we make, and how they ripple down the road. How do they make us feel years from now, even days from now? But it's those reasons that help me to understand what I've done, what I've gotten to, and the reason why I've gotten here. It's not because, well, contrary to popular belief, my wife is not the only reason I'm successful. She is a big reason I'm successful. She helped make me the man that I am today. But her teaching me and helping me to make decisions based on other criteria other than just what you were feeling at that exact moment. I was impulsive, to say the least. Half the purchases that are surrounding me in this room right now are impulsive, to say the least. One day I'll actually show you the room and you can make that decision for yourself. But those changes early on, they were not for the right reason. They didn't stick. So I was back to the drawing board. Years later, trying again. Looking for other things that would mean something to me. Now, here I am, almost 44 years old, and I'm finally learning what it means to change for the right reason. I have lost 25 pounds. I am in better health than I have been in almost a decade. And I'm able to keep up with my 5-year-old son. Those are all important things to me. And they weren't important to me until I got to this stage in my life. So remember, when the next time you're faced with something on how to make a decision, on what you want to do or where you want to go, or if you want to change something, does it mean something to you on a deeper level? If someone says you should change your hair, or if someone says you should get new clothes, or get a new car, or change your job, don't act impulsively. Think about it. What are the reasons behind this change that I'm about to make? How is it going to impact me? How can I benefit from this change? What are the drawbacks of making this change? Because we oftentimes forget that there is a drawback to every decision we make. There's always going to be a con. You might not think this, but there's always a con to every pro. Think about those things. Lay them out. Take your time. Some changes might need to be rushed. If you can, at least write down a few things on both sides of the fence to make that decision a little more clear. And once you are happy with the decision you're about to make and the change that you're about to make, follow through. Give it a little while, depending on the type of change that you're about to make. Then reflect back on it. Determine if the change actually was beneficial. Check your plan that you made before and see if you followed through with those changes, if those benefits actually came to fruition. If not, what can you do to tweak your change, adjust your change, to make sure that you do reach those goals? Now, that might sound a little weird when you're talking about changing your wardrobe or hairstyle. But think about it. After wearing your new clothes for a few days, few weeks, look back. Does the new wardrobe, did it achieve the result that you were looking for? Are you truly happier with the new outfits? Is your new hair color suiting you? There are a lot of people walking around out there with hair colors that really, really are bad choices. I mean, I'm not going to say that to their face often. I said often. But take the time to review the change that you made to make sure that it's actually going the right way. I've constantly reviewed my decision to start this diet and this lifestyle change to make sure that it is something that I want to do. Today, for instance, I had a group of friends and family come over to the house. I was so tempted to dive into all the sweets and all the things that were bad for me. But I reviewed the decision and the reason that I made these changes, and I thought better of it. I decided not to. I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to indulge every once in a while. But my indulgence would have gone overboard and I would have eaten a plate full of brownies. Hand to God. So take the time. Think about your decisions. Think about your changes. And determine if they're what you really, really need in life. You could always reach out to me. You know how to get a hold of me. If you don't, take a look in the comment section. I believe that I'll have that there. You can email me, send me direct messages, contact me in any way, and I'll talk about it. Like I said, I don't have the answers, but I'll talk about it anyway. Thanks and have a wonderful evening.